What's going on, my fellow woodworkers? This is Jacob from Saxon Southern Custom Woodwork. I'm not popular on YouTube by no means. This is actually my first YouTube video. I'd love to be popular on YouTube one day maybe. However, today what I'm shooting is some CNC work. That is the Onefinity Journeyman. And I'm not sponsored by Onefinity. I'm just a proud owner of one, and I've loved it since I've gotten into this whole CNC journey. It's just a tool in my shop. It's not something that I just rely on 100%. What I will be shooting today is some lettering cut out for a big wall sign. I've already cut out 3/4. Well, really I cut out the entire sign. They just kind of messed up a little bit on their measurements. So a quick and easy fix. I'm going to go back and downsize a few of the letters and we will make it work. The customer is extremely happy. I've already got over 3/4 of their sign hung up on the wall, and yeah, so let's get right into it. Just a quick side note, we just moved. Now I'm in a garage versus a shop. I had everything I wanted and needed in the shop. Granted, it was still just as messy as I have it right now, but I'm not done setting up. But what I'm fixing to do is for like wall lettering, I like to use MDF. 1/2 inch, and I only need a small piece. Like I said earlier, I just got to correct just a few letters, so it's not going to take much. I'm going to rip it down to probably 8 inches wide. That's what I have it set up in my software, and 34 inches long. So one of the things I did, instead of cutting it down to 34 wide and 8 tall, is I did cut it down to 8 inches tall. But I left the stock at 36 and 1/8 in width. Another thing that I've done is reprogrammed it in my software that my stock is, instead of 34, it's at 36 and 1/8. And for those who are wondering, I run Vectric software. It's VCarve Pro. I love it, very user friendly. I started not knowing anything about this, and like you right now, I watch plenty of YouTube videos. And through the course of trial and error, I have not yet mastered this thing, but I've gotten very, very good at it. Next, what I would like to do is I'm going to hone my machine to my material. And the reason you see me changing bits, because the bit I got on now is a 1/4 inch compression bit, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to let your bit drop. If you had a 1/8 inch or a 1/16 inch, it was liable to break if it did that. Knocked the dust out of the pallet. Don't know if you can see that, but plenty of dust just fell. I am going to use this bit. This is a compression bit. This bit is made to cut stock like this in one pass. A compression bit is an up and a down cut combination, and this is a 1/4 inch compression bit. So I'm just going to lay that down. I had a probing tool, but the wiring broke on it, and I just hadn't buckled down and bought a new one. So I home manually to my stock right now. And what I like to home with is a 60-degree V-bit because it comes to a very fine point, and it gets the home pretty precise. I think sometimes more accurate than if I was to use the probing tool. Now that everything's hooked up and attached, I'm going to upload my file that I want to carve out. Once it's uploaded, it's ready to go. I see that all my tool paths are okay with a check, and the state is all homed, so I know I'm clear to go. And again, if you're seeing this table and seeing how I got my dust collection system set up, it's very basic. It doesn't take much to get going. However, I'm not done with this setup. I just got set up. That way I could go ahead and get these orders knocked out and get these orders started. And I'm gonna continually improve this table. And you know, I don't know how much longer it's gonna take me. It may take me another week or two. But I eventually want to get the brain box hidden up under the table. That way I don't have to worry about dust being filtrated in that system like I had in my old setup. But let's get to the carve. Through this stop and none of my letters went ripping up, flying, tearing out. Well, there's multiple ways that I like to secure my stock. One of my most popular ways is double-sided woodworking tape. It works great. It doesn't leave a residue on wood, and it's very sticky. But it peels right off when you're done with it without leaving any residue. But I kind of overdid it on these because with letters, you want to run tabs. That way you ensure that nothing comes ripping up and flying out and just shattering and probably destroying a bit at the same time, and that's more money. However, I did run tabs, but I do not like to run excessive tabs because I want my letters to be clean. I can sand them down and sand them off and sand them smooth, but if you run too many tabs, just my personal opinion is you run the risk of it not being as clean as it can. And that's just my opinion. There may be various other opinions, and people have great methods of cleaning up tabs. I'm just not quite set up to do it as well as others at the moment. So what I did is I ran 3 strips of double-sided tape, and then I secured each corner of my stock with some screws and just screwed it down tight. That way I could run a very minimal amount of tabs, and I can ensure my stock's going nowhere, and I can ensure when the letters are cut out, they're not going anywhere as well. The only one that came loose, but I kind of did that myself. But it cuts so clean. Here's a view of the rest of it. Cut all the way through. I actually didn't even cut through the tape. That's how precise this machine is. I didn't actually cut through the tape itself on most of it. Some of it I did, just because the stock was not true flat. And there you have it. The tabs are cleaned up. The letters are sealed. The next thing to do is to paint. And as you see, I've been using that cardboard for paint. We'll get that knocked out real quick, and maybe the next video I will film hanging the rest of the sign in that business. Thank you all for tuning in to Saxon Southern Custom Woodwork. If you like what you've seen today, please drop a like and subscribe to my channel. Everything is greatly appreciated. Thank you.